Hey Adam,
How you doing? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for having us as well. I mean, it's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure
No,
to sit down and have a word with you.
no worries, man. It's always great to reach out to everyone. At most games or most wherever we travel to watch United, I always meet someone from a supporters club in India or even just another Indian fan that lives in the UK. So it's great to speak to you guys, man. I hope you're all keeping safe over there.
Yeah, we were all safe. We've just had a notification come in that the lockdown in India is now been extended to the end of this month. How's it going for you?
Okay. It's similar here. It's being relaxed a little bit, but it's kind of like a lot of people aren't quite sure whether it should be, so are still staying at home and things like that. But it's just strange time. So everyone, I'm a bit fortunate that I live with family and stuff, so I'm not too lonely or anything like that. So I suppose some people are in worse situations, but it does take some getting used to, I suppose.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people are also going through a lot of stuff, Like you said, there are a lot of, even in India, there are a lot of people who are stranded, who are away from families and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it is a bit tough
So
on
it's,
some people.
it's always important just, to take it into consideration that there's people out there that aren't as lucky as we are. So yeah, but it's weird. I think the world's going to be different now. We just gotta keep going, I suppose, and trying to keep as happy and positive as possible.
Yeah, that's the only way forward, I feel. Yeah, totally agree with you there. All right, so Adam, let's start with tell me something about yourself. Tell me how it all started. How was you as a United fan? How it all started?
Well, me supporting United, I can't like remember a day or a moment where I said I was going to be a United fan because I was brought up that way. Like my dad was always going to games, watching games. My uncle from my mum's side was the same. So they've just brought me up, used to buy me the shirts, take me to games from when I was around 7, 8 years old. And I just got the bug. It was something that I loved, something that I fell in love with, and I just carried on going with my father, with my brother, cousins, friends over the years, and somehow in the last 6, 7 years we've been able to do full-time doubles and things like that, and it's taken on another level that I would never have imagined. So in terms of supporting United, it's just something that's been in my family. Like I suppose a lot of people will be the same. Even in India, they've grown up and their brothers are United fans and things like that, so they have
Yeah.
to support them. And that's exactly the same for me as well.
Yeah, but like let's say, in India, the generation of fans is basically the next. It's not like our parents weren't supporters. There's a very rare number of people who used to
Mm.
probably follow English football, in that era. So growing up, do you feel like people in your family have supported other clubs? How have you dealt with that? Like, has there been a rift if someone supports some other club or something of that sort?
It's it's like a lot of unless like my brother and my dad, my uncle supports United, then we've got some Irish family that supports Celtic on my mum's side. A lot of them don't care about football. We're from Birmingham here, so one
Yeah.
of my uncles supports Aston Villa. Um, and then like wider family and cousins and things like that. You have a few Liverpool fans and things, but majority is United fans. We've all kind of influenced each other, and even like me growing up with my cousins, we were all. I remember all of us apart from one was a United fan. So yeah, it's not really been any rifts like that. There's been the occasional like because my uncle, two of my uncles are Liverpool. Well, one of my uncles, one of my cousins, and then like, so we used to watch games together and things. But we were always dominating. I'd
Yeah.
never go watch a game with them now. I
Yeah.
wouldn't
So
want to
the
put
past
myself through it.
past few years have been rough then.
Yeah. Um, obviously, I try not to watch the games with them because it's not a great look, and I don't like watching Liverpool fans celebrate. But it has been difficult. But at the same time, like we've won 3 trophies in the last 6 years. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't see 3 trophies in 16 years, 20 years. Like, so we are still very lucky. And we only think about it being bad in comparison to what was before it. If we never saw countless league titles and European Cups, then we wouldn't, think this was bad, really. You know what I
Yeah, but
mean?
I mean, where we're coming from, I mean, for me as well, I mean, I've always seen United at the top. I mean, obviously, we've had our
Yeah.
defeats, we've had our share of losses, there have been games which we could have won, we missed out, stuff like that, but we've always competed at the top level. And
Mm.
what I feel now is, in the past few years, I think that edge is kind of vanished. I think it's coming back now, but
Mm.
what are your views on this? Do you feel that we were growing as a club?
It's we are now, but football changes very quickly for better or worse. So I don't want to get carried away. We've had a lot of false dawns, like, you know, Jose's first season, a little bit under Van Gaal. We've had like periods where we thought, yes, we're back, and then we haven't been. So
Yeah,
I'm scared to get carried away. But the signs are good from what Ollie's doing. He's definitely bringing a sense of we're Manchester United back to the proceedings and making us feel like I'm excited. You guys must be. It must be more noticeable for you because you have to wake up at all sorts of crazy times. But under Solskjaer, it must be a little bit easier waking up now because
yeah,
you kind of expect a certain level of performance, even if we may be the underdogs or we might not win or we might not perform well. Before the game, you think, we're going to play all right. We're going to do all right today. There's going to be a certain level of commitment. So he's changed that. I look forward to games more, but I don't want to get too carried away. I think the last 6, 7 years have been a result of bad decision making ever since the Glazers come in. Like,
yeah,
when you look when the Glazers come in 2005, Chelsea just kind of got the Roman Abramovich money kind of just coming in. And when they were investing, we weren't competing with Chelsea. We were fortunate to have Sir Alex Ferguson, and obviously we invested in Rooney, Ronaldo. But over the whole board, we lost out on Essie and Robin. So many different players we lost out on.
yeah.
And then City became good, and we weren't competing with them. And then once Fergie left and we lost that genius, because we hadn't been preparing and building a squad that could compete and continue to develop, we just didn't have a plan. And they're obviously not footballing. Like at Bayern Munich, if the manager goes, they've got footballing people within positions to make decisions or help run the club. Ajax are the same. Barcelona to a certain extent, although they've not done well recently in terms of the transfer market. But like you look at other big clubs and they have that sense of structure and people know what they're doing. We don't have that. And it kind of feels like a little bit Ollie has brought that back because of his
Yeah.
influence on things. Like Sir Alex Ferguson was not just a manager, he was a director of football, he was a scout,
Yeah.
he was everything.
He was handling
And
everything. Yeah.
I don't want to say that Ollie is the same because I don't want to compare the two. They're incomparable. But Ollie has certain things, like if you look at his signings, they've all followed the same pattern. Under Van Gaal, under Mourinho, under Moyes, there was never a pattern. Look at Fellaini and Mata. There's no what style of football does buying Fellaini and Mata suggest to you? It doesn't
Yeah.
suggest like a structure or a theme of play. Van Gaal tried to introduce that. Did you see Rooney's comments recently
Yes, I did. I said, yeah.
about
And
keeping Van Gaal?
I was kind of surprised that he was saying that he's just learned more from Van Gaal than he did under anyone else. That was
Yeah,
kind of
it's
surprising.
interesting because there was some dreadful times under Van Gaal. But
Yeah,
when he got it
absolutely.
right, he got it very right. And he gave us players like Rashford and Marshall and things like that. So he was
But he
very good in
also
that sense.
he also killed players like Januzaj. What do you think about that? I mean,
Yeah, and yes and no. Like I don't look at Yanazar as the one that I think, oh, he should have stayed. There's people like Raphael, or I think Raphael could have done a
yes,
massive
Rafael.
job for
Yes,
United over there. Like I
I
think he
agree with you.
missed
Yeah.
the trick with certain players there because Raphael would have been a continuation of he knows what it means to play for United. He knows how to, play, and he wasn't a bad player. So some of those decisions were confusing.
Yeah, more than the
I,
player, I think Rafael had the whole spirit about the, you know, of the club. He was fighting for the badge. I mean, that was something that he
mm,
definitely had. Yeah.
and he kept the tone, a certain level of,
Mm.
of commitment and things like that.
All right. So this is an unpopular question, but I want to ask you this. What are your thoughts, man? Do you feel that when Sir Alex left the club, do you think he left us in a position where he could have handled his exit a bit better? Do you think we were left with a squad which was not kind
I,
of David Moyes' fault?
yes and no. I think ultimately Sir Alex Ferguson was an employee.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's down to your organization to make plans for when that employee is going to leave. In 2001, he said he was going to retire, and
Yeah.
he went back on that decision. And we should have known from then. Okay, he lasted 12 more years, but we should have known from then that we need to have a plan in place for when Sir Alex Ferguson leaves, and we never ever did. So part of I think most of the responsibility lies on the club, but also because of the way Sir Alex Ferguson left, which was kind of rushed, he didn't expect to make that decision at that time. He never prepared for, like, Van Persie expected Fergie to be the boss for 2 more seasons. Kagawa, like, Rooney was going to leave, Kagawa was going to be the
Yeah.
man behind. Like, these were the plans that were in place, and then December, January, he just is cancelled. So he never ever planned for his departure. So there's a part of that, there was never ever any forward thinking. And then when Moyes came in, he, I get it, because you have to be your own man. You have to say,
Yeah.
I'm the boss. I'm going to come in. This is my club. But then he kind of got rid of everybody around him, which would have kept some of the squad on side. And I think maybe that should have been a more gradual, like, he got rid of, was it Rennie Moulinstein and Phelan at the time?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. He
And
got
like,
his own coaching staff.
maybe,
Yep.
maybe get rid of them in a season or in 18 months, but kind of forcing all that change at once, I think affected things. And then like his treatment, he just was never the man for the job. I think maybe Mourinho, that was Mourinho's time to come in and take a team of league winners and just carry on winning. I think he could have done that. Like, David Moyes wasn't the man. And if you're going to give David Moyes the keys to the job, you have to give him 3-4 years. And it was clear he never deserved that.
Yeah. All right. So we've got some questions coming in. And
Wicked.
okay, let's just start with the Pogba situation. Let's go straight into it. What are your thoughts on the Pogba situation?
I love Pogba. I want him to stay. I understand why people get frustrated with him. I also understand why people defend him a lot, because I feel like he gets a lot of unfair criticism, a lot of warranted criticism too, but I think a lot of it is unwarranted. As for his future, I thought all year this summer he's gone. All year I thought he's gone this summer. And now I just think he's going to stay. I can't see how it's possible. Like, Juventus have stopped paying 100% of their players' wages, so they pay less wages to their players at the
Yeah.
moment. Real Madrid aren't going to be earning as much money. There's been reports that Roma, I know Roma's not going to buy Pogba, but they've lost 250 million euros, I think, in the last couple of months.
No,
So
but let's say,
these clubs are going to
sorry.
be massively affected, so they're not going to sign Pogba. So Pogba's going to stay, I think, and I think that's a good thing for us.
No, but do you think Pogba is staying because he wants to stay, or do you think he's staying because of the financial situation at the
A
other
mixture
clubs?
of both. I think
I mean,
Pogba loves Man United. I think
yeah,
Pogba wants to be a success at United. I think the club signed him, made certain promises, and they didn't back them promises up. We should have been challenging for the Champions League, the league, in the last couple of years. You can't blame that all on Paul Pogba. You can blame Paul Pogba for his form at times, but even then, last season he was our best player. Like, in his first season, he scored a goal in the European final, and he was great with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So I think like we should have had more around him as well. But you can't disregard that he shouldn't be coming out and saying last summer, I want to leave. You don't do that publicly. But then at the same time, when Lukaku was not training and Lukaku was seen speaking to Inter Milan, Pogba was training hard and keeping his head down.
yeah,
So
sure.
I think he respects United. He loves United. I think realistically, he probably wants to leave. and I can understand why, because he should be challenging for the Champions League and league titles. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think he's probably looking at what Ollie's doing and thinking, well, maybe it's not as bad if I stay now, because there seems to be some direction we're going in. Bruno coming in,
Yeah.
Rashford, Marshall settling. Hopefully we sign Jadon Sancho. Like, there seems to be some sort of team building there now. And maybe he thinks we can, I don't know, win something.
Yes.
Or
So
I think
so
we could win something.
what are your thoughts on who's a better signing 2 years down the line? Do you think Bruno or Wan-Bissaka? Who do you think is going to shine brighter as we?
I think Bruno would be, because you look at the way Bruno plays, you
Yeah.
see that more, don't you? His passes,
Yeah.
his goals, that sticks in your mind more than a defender. But I think Wan-Bissaka is a fantastic signing. I think he's already shown that he's worth the money we've spent. I think he's already shown he's one of the best fullbacks, if not the best fullback in the league, and he's only going to get better. So you can't underplay the signing of Wan-Bissaka. There's been positions that we've had over the years where we've not been able to fill them, and it feels like, touch wood, we've got someone that's going to just be right back for 5-10 years maybe. So he's a
So
very good signing. But so is Bruno, so is Harry Maguire. Daniel
yeah.
James is a good squad player.
So
So
we've
the
got
signings have been good.
we've got Connor telling us that he wants to know: do you think Shaw's resurgence will solve our left back situation? You think? What are your thoughts
I'm
on
not
that?
convinced by Luke Shaw, I'm
Yeah.
not
Why is
convinced.
that? Why is that? Why is that?
I think Brandon Williams shows more going forward. I think defensively Brandon can get better. But Luke Shaw's best games came in a back three centre backs, with him as the left centre back. I don't think we
Yeah.
should be accommodating three centre backs for Luke Shaw. He doesn't show enough going forward at times. But I do think he got better with the competition from Brandon Williams. I think that brought
Yeah.
something else out of him. So maybe you can see more of that next season. But I'd like to see Brandon playing more. Look, Luke Shaw's had a lot of bad luck, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I think a lot of it's been in his own hands. And
But
he
but
just
he's
doesn't
worked,
seem
right?
to have
He's
that.
trained, but he's trained. He's worked hard. There's no doubt about that. He's
He
trying
has, he
his
has, he
best to
has.
come back.
But I think sometimes you just have to look at it. I'm not saying we should sell him. I don't think we'll sell him. But
Yeah.
I think you just have to look at it and think, is he much better than Brandon Williams at the moment? I don't
Yeah.
think so. And he should be. Do you know what I mean? He
He
should be.
should be.
And
Yeah.
whatever the reasons, he got an injury. He,
A massive one.
whatever,
Is he
I
had
don't know.
massive?
Whatever the reasons are, ultimately, those things have happened. And he's not the same player since. And as a club, as Manchester United, we have to be more ruthless. And I think if we fix the right wing position and we keep Pogba, I think the next position people are going to start talking about is going to be left back.
Yeah.
I think
So
personally.
we've got Karam asking it's a pretty fan question. Do you have any superstitions when you sit down and watch a game? You got any of your personal superstitions or
Not really,
favorite favorite jersey or tying your
I don't,
boots in a
I
certain
don't,
way or something like that? No?
when I walk into Old Trafford, I always touch the thing, but I don't know if that's a superstition or a habit. As you're just walking up the stairs, you just slap the badge. But
Yeah.
I think that's just a habit. But I always make a habit of, as you walk up the stairs,
Yeah.
like just taking it in and just like watching, just seeing the ground appear in front of you and the stands and everything. I still find that special. And the day that stops will probably be the day I stop going to United. Like, I don't really have any superstitions.
All right. Okay. Okay. So we've got Arun asking us, what are your views on Matic and aging Matic?
I thought he surprised me. He did very well towards the back end of the season. Um, but again, it's like, has that now coaxed us into signing a new deal with him where maybe we should improve our defensive midfield position? Are we going to keep him and slowly take him out of the team and bring James Garner through and Dylan Levitt? I don't know depends what the plan is there. If we plan on playing Nemanja Matic every single week, then I'm not looking forward to that. But I still think he
Yeah.
has a part to play. I just think we probably need to strengthen in that position.
Yeah,
But then if you strengthen, what does that say to James Garner and Dylan Levitt and Scott McTominay even, who are just
yeah.
starting to play? So yeah, we probably won't buy there this summer, I imagine.
All right. And
But
what
Jude
about
Bellingham can play there. So
yeah? All right.
If we sign Jude Bellingham, he's
Yeah.
someone that can play there. So maybe that's the plan. Um, I'm not sure.
All right. So tell me, Adam, tell me, what do you think? Do you think that De Gea can like potentially be replaced by Dean Anderson? Do you think that's something that
Yeah,
we've
Dean
seen?
Henderson's development's exciting, but I think we got to leave him where he is for the time being
Yeah, put him on a
because
couple of loan spells, maybe.
no, just leave him at Sheffield United. I think everything's going great there. They're probably going to be in Europe next season, so that's going to help him with his development. He plays every single week in the Premier League, apart from the games against us. Um, and I don't think he's going to get that at United. I think we'd be a bit naive to kind of say, oh, David De Gea's made a mistake or two, and Dean Henderson looks great. Let's swap them and finish now. Let's do this. I think that's rushing Dean Henderson. I think that's rushing De Gea out the door probably bit too soon. And we got to look at our squad. We don't have much experience left in the squad at all, really. And I think David De Gea could be a key part to that. So I wouldn't rush him out. And I don't want to see Dean Henderson come back and sit on the bench. So
Yeah.
maybe in a year, 2 years' time, we can sit down and say Dean Henderson's the goalkeeper now. Or he's got to battle it out with De Gea, but not yet.
Yeah, personally, I feel De Gea he's been a terrific servant to the club. He's done a wonderful
Mm,
job. There have been times when he's actually just carried us. It's only been him. There are games which he owe only to the goalkeeper. So yeah.
mm.
All right. Okay, I've got Rohit asking you, how do you rate Fred this season? What do you think? What about a change in his play? I mean, we all know that he did change, but what do you think
Yeah.
brought about that change?
I think you got to credit Ollie and Carrick and McKenna and everyone with that. Um, I think he's had a fantastic return to form. When you look at Paul Pogba played 5, 6 games, Scott McTominay was out for 2, 3 months. Matic was in and out of the team. So Fred has been the one consistent player in that central midfield. And while his performances sometimes have had a dip, I think
Yeah.
in the main they've been quite consistent and he's looked good. And we're starting to see that he's the player that we signed. Because most of us, I think, I don't know about you, most of us kind of just thought he's probably going to leave soon. It's done.
Yeah.
We're going to replace him. Ollie's not going to fancy him. But he's managed to like turn it around and look like a good player in the team. So yeah, it's good to see because we spent a lot of money on him as well.
Yeah.
And I think you read a lot about, look, Jose got a lot right. He got a lot wrong. But you read about how he treated Fred and you think, why would you spend £50 million on a player and then just disregard him? So it's good to see us kind of like we kind of stopped doing that. Jose would see someone and just think, oh, he's rubbish. I need to buy someone else. Whereas Ollie kind of thinks, kind of try and get something out of that player that isn't there at the moment. And I think as a manager and as a coach, especially in the situation that we're in, that's a
Yeah.
good trait to have. Because I know it can get annoying sometimes when we come out after games and Ollie's smiling after we draw or he's being positive. But I don't think he's like that behind closed doors. I think he absolutely kills everyone behind closed doors when they deserve it. And I think that's good to see. We can't have like that negativity in the press constantly. So it's
Yeah.
annoying sometimes, but I think he's managing everyone quite well. And Fred's a big example of that.
All right. And what are your thoughts on Martial? Do you think he's our number 9? Do you think we're set there, or do we need
I
some
love Tony
change?
Marshall, man. Um, I think he's incredibly talented. I think we definitely need like an Igalo type player in the
Yeah.
squad to keep him and Rashford and Greenwood on their toes, to provide a plan B. But I think when people talk about Marshall, they overlook a lot of what he's done, how old he is, how long he's been here, kind of being pulled in and out of the team, playing, chopping, changing positions. And I think overall he's done quite well this season. January he was pretty bad, but then apart from that, he's been pretty good this season, and it's been good to see his improvement. Him and Rashford seem to finally the penny seems to have dropped with them. And
And
long may it continue.
if you talk about Martial, what are your thoughts on Sanchez? What are we doing with him? We're
He's
kind of
got
in a
to
mess
go,
there.
man. He's got to go. He's got to go. We're not gonna get anything out of this guy. Like,
Do you feel we cheated on the whole transfer? You think we got a completely burned out player when we bought Sanchez? Do you think he was done?
yes, I was all for signing him. So I'm not gonna say I knew this at the time. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of us got it wrong, but he was clearly done. And I kind of thought that was him just tired of Arsenal, but it seemed like he's just burnt out. And when you look at the way he plays, he relies on that natural energy and that bursting around the pitch, and he just doesn't seem to have that anymore. And I think even if you brought him back into the squad, the most he's going to get you is 5, 10 goals. I think Mason Greenwood outscores him. I think
Yeah.
his wages just don't really justify keeping him. And when you look at Herrera, probably thought if the club are paying him 375,000 or whatever it is, then they have to pay me close to that because Alexis Sanchez isn't doing anything. Then if that continues to happen, it just affects the whole dressing room, I think. So
Yeah.
you kind of just have to say, look, let's cut our losses and get rid of him, even if it's sending him back out on loan again.
All right. Okay. And what do you think on Greenwood, Mason Greenwood? Everybody's kicked about Mason Greenwood, man. I mean, on Instagram, there's a lot
Generational
of
talent.
excitement about him. I mean,
He's a generational talent, I think. Like you look at I don't even think he's really played well this season, and he's scored 13 goals. Like when you've watched the games where he's played, you've not been thinking, "Oh my God, look at this kid!" every single minute. But he picks up the ball at times, and he just match-winning potential. And when you've got that potential where you're just in the game, and you can score a goal at any minute, take any chance on either foot, I think that's different gravy. And he seems to have he seems to be quite cold and calculated about everything. He doesn't get too carried away. I remember he scored, I think he scored his first goal, and because we were losing and he scored and it made it a draw, he just picked up the ball and ran back to the goal. And it's like,
yeah.
that's your first goal for Manchester United. Like,
You know,
I would have lost my head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, remember Daniel James celebrating and Rashford and Marshall pulling him back. And it's like, I don't blame Daniel James for that because scoring for Manchester United in your first season, like,
absolutely. Yeah.
you can't be used to that. Do you know what I mean? But he had that cold, calculated figure where he was like, let's pick up the ball. We need to get a win. And I think that will prove to be good for him because that mentality should set him apart. And I think sooner or later he'll be playing for England and he'll be playing for United and scoring lots of goals.
Yeah. So we've got someone asking us your thoughts on Raul Jimenez.
Good striker. If Igalo left, I'd take him all day long.
But what do
Wolves
you think Igalo's going to stay? What's your? I mean, both of them
I
are.
was pretty sure, yeah, that he'd stay. And then in the last few weeks, like I think the current situation is Shanghai are returning to football in July or August. And if we return to football in June, his contract expires end of May. If he gets an extension, he's going to still have to go back to Shanghai to start their season. So I could potentially see him going back to Shanghai and not joining United again. He possibly played his last game, which is, I don't know. I don't know how to feel because when he first came in, I thought, let's not get carried away. He's just here for a short time, you know. But he actually looks quite good. And is that just a short-term thing, or could he do a job? I'm not too sure. And how much does Shanghai want? Who else is available? So there's a lot of questions, but I hope it's not the last time we see him because I really took to him when he was there.
So do you think you said that you think we might return to football in June? Do you think that is a possibility? Do you think that might just happen?
And that's what the rumors are. The rumors are here that June the 12th or June the 19th, the football is going to return behind closed doors. and that could be the date for Spurs against United, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the first
June
pictures.
12th or
Yeah.
19th. So at the moment, because the German league's gone ahead, I'm thinking maybe it happens, but at the same time, we don't know because the lockdown here has just been, it hasn't officially been like loosened, but it kind of unofficially has. Some people are going back to work and everything. So I don't know if we're going to have a spike soon in maybe illnesses and deaths, and then does that change the decision to go ahead with football? But at the
Yeah.
moment, it seems like that's the plan. Teams are going to start returning to training soon, and then we'll know more. We've already seen like pictures of Pogba and Lingard and stuff training
Yeah.
together. So I think we could see football back very soon. I'm not against that at all either because I really miss football at the moment. And look, the funny
Yeah.
side
Who
of me,
doesn't? Everybody misses football. Who doesn't? Who
I want to
doesn't?
see. I want to see Liverpool not get the league title and it to have an asterisk and 29 games and all that stuff. But we
Cheers
were
to that,
actually
mate. Cheers to that.
we were actually starting to just do something. So I hope we can carry on with that. But yeah, fingers crossed
Yeah.
because I'm so bored right now, and it'll just be something to feel normal again.
All
It'll
right.
feel normal again.
We've got Piyush asking us, how did you start about with full-time doubles and making the videos, and what was your initial response when you started the entire thing?
So I came out of university. I did law at uni, and then I never got a job or anything after that because my heart just wasn't in it. So I worked for my dad, and my dad's like rents and sells property. So I was working with him, and me and
Yeah.
him used to go to games and everything. Continue to do that, and then one day I saw like Full Time Devils just started. Two United fans, Johnny and Alan, started it,
Yeah.
and they did a post on Facebook saying any United fans interested. So I sent them an email, jumped on Skype, had a chat, and then I did a preview via Skype with them. And then once we did that preview, I started doing more videos. And then because I was at games, I was
Yeah.
saying to them, do you want videos sent in? Do you want me to send videos in? And so I used to do reviews for them on my phone. And then eventually we got producer Chris, we got a cameraman, and we started doing fan cams, and it just started to grow and grow and grow. I never had any media training, so I was I didn't know what I was doing really at the start, but gradually it just got, because football is something I've always spoken about, always talked about. Manchester United is something I've been addicted to all my life. So it's kind of like I've been training for this job all my
Yeah.
life without knowing it. Like I don't need to have notes, or I don't need to have like like I just know if someone asks me a question, I know what the answer is because it's
Yeah.
I've been thinking
And
about
yeah,
it all my life.
you're doing a
So
brilliant job. You're doing a brilliant job. I mean, we're
no, I
all fans. We're
appreciate
all
that, man.
fans.
I
All right.
appreciate that.
Moving on. We've got Achintya asking us, who do you think is a best fit as a director of football for United, if that is happening? I mean,
I really don't know, because we can all say different people that we've heard of, but we don't actually see what they do behind the closed doors. So how can I know who I would get when I don't know how they do the role? So I genuinely don't know. Obviously, you had that guy from Monaco that discovered loads of players like Bernardo Silva and Anthony Martial and all these players. He could be a possibility. I forgot his name now, but I don't really know. But when you look at the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing the job, you feel like if he didn't succeed as manager, he
yeah.
would be suited to that role because of the way he's bringing in players. So, but I genuinely don't know. I don't want to pretend to know either.
All right. So now we're going to do a rapid fire thing. All right. So
Yeah,
I want your answer in just about 2 or 3 words. Nothing longer than that. Yeah. Whatever comes to your mind. Really quick.
sweet.
All right. So, all right. So 99 squad or the 2007-2008 squad?
Oh wait,
All right. Schmeichel, Van der Sar, or De Gea?
Schmeichel.
Schmeichel. All right. What do you like doing more? Podcasts, fan cams, or interviews?
Fan cams.
Cantona or Rooney?
Cancer.
Best player from the class of 92?
Beckham.
Oh, yeah. Fergie time derby winner? Owen's goal or Van Persie's goal?
Owen's goal.
Yeah. One signing post Fergie that deserved a better chance before we sold him off.
Herrera.
All right. Rio or Vidic?
Real.
Bigger heartbreak, 2009 Champions League final or the Aguero late winner?
Aguero.
Aguero? Yeah. Rashford or Martial?
Martial.
Really? You're going with Martial? Wow, man, you really love Martial. All right. In terms of quality of goal, RVP Wally
Listen,
versus
yeah, if
Aston Villa.
Martial came through the academy, he'd be a lot more loved as well, I think. I love
right.
Rashford though.
In terms of quality of goal, the Van Persie volley against Aston Villa or Rooney's bicycle against City?
Rooney.
Rooney. All right. Tougher opponent, you got Arsenal, Wenger's Invincible, or Mourinho's Chelsea?
Wenger.
Wenger. All right. In comparison to each other's tenure, Louis van Gaal or Rose?
Jose.
Jose. All right. As a United player, Beckham or Ronaldo?
Beckham.
Yeah. Same. Pogba or Bruno, the better midfielder?
Pogba.
Okay, your favorite jersey, jersey sponsor, Sharp, Vodafone, AIG, or Chevrolet?
Sharp.
Sharp, yeah. I think everyone goes with Sharp. All right. Last question is Ole in or Ole out?
In.
Yeah. All right, man. That was the end of our rapid fire.
It has to be in, right? There's no
Yeah, it has to be
excuse
in.
to stay out.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'll be honest with you. I know you said quick fire, but with Ollie, yeah, I've had my doubts about him. I doubted whether we should have gave him the job, but he's done enough to say that he deserves time. If you sack him now, that's so unfair. And I think he deserves more time. So yeah, he's earned it. I never like to be Ollie in or out as well, because when you're in or out, you never see, like, if I'm in, when Ollie does something wrong, I'll never admit to it because it proves me wrong. If I'm Ollie out, when Ollie does something good, I'll never admit it and I'll never celebrate it because it proves me wrong. And that's how I feel. People that end up saying, oh, Ollie in or Ollie out, they end up being stuck in that box. So they never give their true opinion because they just want to be proven right all the time. So I'd rather say, like, let's just have your own opinion. My opinion is I'm not sure whether he's going to be a success in the long term, but he's doing very well. So for that reason, he deserves your support. And like, I think we just got to always support. Even when I doubted Jose, I went to game and I sang Jose Mourinho's name and I sang Mourinho's Red Army because I wanted him to succeed.
The club to succeed, right? Yeah, it's for the club. I mean, I completely get where you're coming from. But, you know, there was a period, I believe, in between when Mourinho was just putting us to sleep. It was really getting tough to watch the games.
Yeah, Mourinho's had that. Ollie's had that. Van Gaal's had that. I think Ollie's kind of recovered from his dip in the middle a little bit well. Hopefully it can continue, though. Football changes so quickly, man. Like, if we, for example, if we played Spurs last day before the lockdown and we lost, how would we all be feeling right now? Like, we'd all be feeling very weird about things. So, yeah, let's just take it slowly. But it's definitely more positive now.
Okay, we've got someone asking us about your FIFA skills. What are your skills?
They used to be better. They're not bad. They're not bad. They used to be a lot better. I used to just play constantly when I was a kid. But nowadays I go online and I get battered by little kids and I just say, what is going on? Need to give up.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on, we've got someone asking on Sancho. What do you think? Do you think, is that going to happen or do you think it's a possibility?
I'm not in the know, but I think it's going to happen. Like, just as a fan, I get the feeling it's going to happen. Dortmund, I think, are open to selling him. He's open to leaving. United will be happy to pay the money, even if we pretend we're not. So it's just a matter of if he chooses United, and I think we're probably one of his choices. So if Chelsea, I don't know, Chelsea going to be in for him, Liverpool, can they afford to be in for him? So I'd say like 80% chance he'd end up at United.
Yeah, that's a great number. I think we're all hoping for that to happen. Yeah.
I could look very stupid if he doesn't, but that's just my gut feeling. Like when I heard the rumors about Pogba, I thought, nah. Even till the last day, I thought he's not signing, and I was wrong. And like just gut feeling with this is he's going to be a United player.
All right, so we've got someone asking, how does it feel like chipping the goalkeeper at Old Trafford? How was that like?
That was amazing. It was like a year ago today, so we had like an MLS style penalty shootout, and then we had like a game afterwards, and Wes Brown and Park Ji-sung were in the opposition team, and it was really cool, man. I enjoyed it, so that was a dream come true.
Absolutely, I'm sure. All right, we've got, tell me, who do you feel in the current players is the most passionate about the club?
Probably be the ones that have come through, wouldn't it? Brandon, Rashford, Scott, those kind of boys. But I don't like to measure like passion and things like that by who screams the most or who tackles the hardest or who, because I think people show it in different ways. Like I think Berbatov used to get criticised for not running around a lot, but he still cared about Manchester United. He still cared about things, and he still cried his heart out when he wasn't in the Champions League final squad.
He still does. He still does.
And I think it's dangerous to kind of say, "Oh, he doesn't care because he doesn't run around a lot," or you know, he doesn't smash his badge all the time and things like that.
Yeah.
I'd say probably the lads that have come through though.
Yeah. Okay, and tell me one thing. Of all the players that you've interviewed, who do you think has been the most humble player? Like, you just sit down with him and have a chat. I mean, like a fan to a fan chat kind of a thing, you know?
A lot of them have been great. Jesse Lingard is a very nice guy. And I think he gets a lot of stick for kind of being stupid, but I think his heart is in the right place. He does some silly things at times, but ultimately his heart's in the right place, and I think he feels defeats more than people realize. But as for Juan Mata is amazing. I remember when I met Juan Mata, and we had an interview set up, and it was kind of like in a community center, and there were people in the community center like that used a youth club and things like that, and they were all there when he arrived, and instead of just walking past them, he spent time with each and every single one. And he's not just, here's a signature and go away, or he proper spends time with people. He remembers your name. Everything about him is like what you would want in someone you want to meet. And Eric Cantona was amazing as well, because he manages to keep that aura of, oh my God, that is Eric Cantona. He keeps that aura of,
I can just imagine what it would be like.
You hear you hear angels and everything. But when you speak to him and when he speaks to you, you feel respected and you don't feel looked down. You feel the first time I met him, I kept hugging him and things like that. Eric, and he just he didn't take it weirdly or anything. And the guy's amazing. And I remember when we interviewed him, he came in. He was like, I'm just gonna eat some food and stuff. And we just sat there having a beer, having a wine, and it just blew my mind that I got the chance to do that. Wes Brown's great as well. I'm sure you guys, spent some time in India, didn't he?
He's come to a couple of our events as well. Yeah, we had him for I Love United. Yeah.
I've done some crazy things with Wes. We played football in wheelchairs with the Manchester United Foundation.
Wow.
When I played football against on the pitch, I played against him, and he remembered me. So we had a little bit of he's a nice guy as well. Wes, proper down to earth, and Like, people don't realize how much he's achieved. Wes Brown, he
Yeah.
was part of the treble winning squad. He was part of the 2008 double winning team. Set up Ronaldo for the header in the final. Jimmy Murphy Player of the Year in 1999. The guy's a phenomenal, phenomenal player. And when you meet him, you just think he's another Man United fan. Um, so,
All
yeah,
right.
man.
I've got a lot of questions coming in now. Tell me your favorite. Do you have a favorite chant? What are you singing?
I like loads. Take Me Home United Road, probably the best, though.
Yeah.
Just for
Okay.
the nostalgia and everything.
We've got someone asking, have you ever interviewed a player who's seen your video and had an opinion about what you said? Has that ever happened?
Um, Jesse's watched videos. I remember once after we lost against City, it was
Yeah.
about 3 o'clock in the morning, and Jesse DM'd me like, I'm watching the fan cams, just proper gutted at the moment. And it was like, he'd seen it. Who else? Evra has seen him.
Yeah. Uncle
He
Pat all the
when
way.
I interviewed Evra, he came up to me and he said, "Oh, Adam, full-time Devils, I watch your videos, man. They've been making me
Yeah.
sad the last few years." And it's kind of like, shit, Evra watching my videos. So I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them will pretend they don't. But I
Yeah.
think they're just human, aren't they? Ultimately, and
Um,
that's why I don't ever overstep the mark, because I'm a
yeah.
fan. I want them to be successful. I I don't think, for example, Chris Smalling is good enough to play for Man United anymore. But I would never be disrespectful about it. Like, if someone has a bad game, criticize them, but don't overstep the mark, because ultimately we're still supporters, we're still fans, we still want the best for them and for United. And we can still give our opinion and be
Yeah.
supporters without, you don't have to swear at them to say they've had a bad game or abuse them to say they've had a bad game. And I think a lot of them know when they have had a bad game.
Yeah.
It's, you
So
know,
you've mentioned Jesse a couple of times. What are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on him? Do you think he still fits in, or he's got to go?
if United
Because
slip,
I personally feel. I mean, I don't see him fitting into the club anymore. I just don't.
I think it depends where he sees himself. If he sees himself as, I need to play and start, then he's got to probably leave. And I think getting
Yeah.
a new agent in suggests that he's possibly thinking that way, especially if United are going to sign. We keep Pogba. We've just signed, we've just signed Bruno Fernandes. If we sign Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, Angel Gomez, what's going to happen with him? Is he going to stay? Be promised more game time? Then I think Andreas Pereira and Jesse Lingard are probably going to think, I need to go. But then, on the other hand, if I was the manager,
Yeah.
I would want to improve my team, but I would also think Jesse Lingard has something to offer as a squad player, because people can't deny that over the last 4 to 5 years, when we've been successful, Jesse Lingard's been a big part of it, big part of the squad as well. When we played our best football under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jesse Lingard was a big part of that front three. And I think the way he plays, he would always be a great squad player. Imagine if you've got a bench with the likes of Jesse, Scott McTominay, Daniel James. Those are the level, like those are the kind of squad players we had plenty of under Sir Alex Ferguson, that kind of level. And I think if you get back to that, you'd have a strong United team. The problem is when they're playing every single week and they're playing poorly. That's the problem, I
Yeah.
think. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jess wants to leave. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ollie wants to sell him. You can't play badly for that long at a club like
Yes,
United.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm coming
And
to. I mean, it's far too long.
but then if you're
You know.
Jesse Lingard, you're thinking, under Jose Mourinho, I was one of the key players. I scored in the League Cup final. I scored in the FA Cup final in the Van Gaal. I was a big part of the Europa League winning team. I've had a bad 12 to 18 months, and now you want to get rid of me. Like, he'd probably think, look at Ashley Young, look at Jones, they'd probably be thinking like, how is this fair? So I can understand it, but the levels have gone up now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
And ultimately,
Yeah.
if you don't rise to them levels, you're going to be left behind or you're going to have to move on. Eventually, we had to do it with Nicky Butt. We had to do it with Phil Neville. Wes Brown had to leave. Eventually, these players get to a point where they think, do I want to be a squad player or do I want to play week in, week out for a team that is just below the level of United? And that's the decision he's got to make. But he could still be a big part of our future as well, I think.
Yeah, and what do you think about Scott McTominay? You know, I mean,
I'll be honest, I got him massively wrong. In his first season, I wasn't impressed at all.
yeah,
I didn't think he had that much to offer, but he seemingly just is pushed on. He's developed as a player.
yeah,
I still think we need to improve. Like, if you're going to have Bruno and Pogba in a midfield three, I think you need a bit more than Scott McTominay behind them. But I do think he's going to continue to improve as well and he's going to be a massive member of the squad. He's the kind of player you need in the squad as well. Someone that will keep the standards high. If anybody's having a bad game, then if you're looking at the bench and seeing Scott McTominay, you're knowing you have to play well. Otherwise, he's going to take your spot because he's not going to be messing around in training. He's not how many gets on. But in terms of quality, I think we can definitely improve in the midfield area a little bit.
and I mean, you know, looking at him training, I mean, I just saw a couple of pictures today. He's at it. He's ripped. You know.
He's looking good, yeah. He's looking good.
It's looking great. All right. So, what is your favorite moment as a United fan? What is your single moment which you would say has been your by far the greatest moment being a United fan?
It would have to I think everyone's probably gonna guess that I say 99, and that is definitely there. As a I remember it happening. I remember going to the parade. I remember the final. I remember going to the FA Cup final. I remember going to the Spurs game. But I never knew what it meant. I was 10 years old. Like, I thought this was going to happen every year. In a way, I understood it a lot more. In a way, I understood what it meant to be European champions. I understood what it meant to do the double. I'm so gutted about that Portsmouth game. It should have been a treble. But I think '08, like that whole time period was amazing. Getting to see Rooney and Ronaldo develop and become what they became, Rio and Vidic and Evra and Van der Sar, like that whole period was great for me. And I was of an age where I understood it more. I was 17, 18, 19. So I knew what was going on in front of me. So I'd have to say that period of time. It was surreal.
What are your views on what's been our best defensive partnership? You know, who do you think has been
Maguire
singling?
Hopefully in the future. It's still up for grabs, really, isn't it? You'd have to say Maguire's going to start most games. He's the captain and he's improved as the season's gone on. But it's open now. Like, I wanted Axel to get a chance this season, but he got injured. And when he was going to get that chance against Liverpool, you're thinking this is a chance for him now to cement his spot. Gets injured in the warm-up, can't play anymore. And then, like, you've got a chance for Lindelof to still improve, but also got the chance to improve on Lindelof, so he has to step up. So it's going to be open. I actually think Eric Bailly is our best defender, but he's not fit enough. So you can't call him that. So you just have to wait, really.
I think he's always injured, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, since he's been at United, he's had one full season, hasn't he? So it's not been great.
What are your thoughts on the fact that do you feel that we're lacking somewhere with our back end squad, like with the training of the players or the way they're being kept fit or something of that sort? Do you think we're lacking there? That's why we have a lot of players getting injured, or we've never had injuries to a couple of players like we've had with Jones and Bay and all these guys. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. We've had.
So we were talking about the staff, the backroom staff. Do you think,
I'm not too sure because I think it could be down to obviously change of football, change of style. Like once Jose finished, Oli adapted a new style. where we were pressing and we were pushing up, and maybe the change of, had an effect towards the back end of the season. Big injuries, like, I don't think you can foresee those kind of things happening, really. Just been unfortunate at times.
So what are your thoughts on India? I mean, yeah, we were talking about how you feel that you've always met a fan or you've heard from some of the supporters club in India. You think
Yeah.
you want to come? We were supposed to have a United event in Delhi.
Mm.
So
We were supposed to have, I was looking forward to hopefully a pre-season game in India this season.
yeah, that's what
Obviously,
I heard as well. Yeah.
it's not happening now, but I've been to India 3, 4 times in my life. The first time I ever went was in 2012. Like, my dad's family originate from Gujarat. So we went there, went Mumbai, went Goa,
Wow.
we passed through Delhi on the way to like Taj Mahal and Agra and stuff like that. So I visited a lot of the country then, and then the last few times I've been to Goa for like a wedding and a holiday and stuff. So I was looking forward to going back, and obviously didn't happen. So hopefully next year it can happen.
Yeah, definitely. We would love to
Because
have you.
no
It's gonna
matter
be
where you
amazing.
go, like when I went on pre-season tours to Australia, Singapore, America, people travel from India. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna have now like United in India, like it's just gonna be incredible. It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be crazy.
absolutely incredible. Yeah. So I was looking forward to that, and hopefully it can happen.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of people now. They're really interested about how you're probably Indian. So everybody wants to know where in Gujarat. Where in Gujarat? I mean, where are you originally from? Your dad.
My dad and stuff are from Surat in Gujarat. I think the village is called Talada. I think
Yeah.
I might be wrong, because I went there quite a while ago. But like my uncle and my granddad and all them like go back quite a lot. They were
Yeah.
born there. My dad was born here. But yeah, like yeah, we got a family over there all over the place. But mainly from Gujarat.
That's amazing. So, what was it like when you were in India? Do you like the place? Do you like the people, the culture? I mean,
Yeah, I love it. Obviously being in England, obviously being mixed race, like I'm not fully in the culture, but I have been part of the culture. Like all my friends, all different religions, all different parts of India. So growing up, I've always had like celebrated different festivities and things like that. And yeah, like I love it. Obviously, I like keeping in touch with it, and I like to like I did a documentary on British Asians in football and things like that. So I like to see and advocate for more Indians and more Asians, especially over here where football is the main sport, to be
yeah,
in the game. But also in India, because like you think about it, yeah, like every game you go to, there's Indian fans. Every
yeah,
football team has Indian fans, but not many football teams have Indian players. Like, how can we all be loving the sport, but
yeah,
none of us are playing it at a very high level? Like, it doesn't make sense at all. And in England, like it's the same. Like, there's so many Asian kids, and whether they're Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, whatever, but there's so many Asian kids here that are part of football culture and play football and stuff, but we don't see them at the highest level.
yeah,
Um, and it's a shame, and hopefully that starts to change. You look at have academy. You've got Yan Dan,
yeah.
who's at Swansea, who's a friend of mine. You've got obviously Chowdhury playing for Leicester City. So you are starting to see more, and once we see more, I think it'll start to be more accepted in that.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So tell me, you obviously met a lot of fans. You've done a lot of interviews. What's been like the craziest person that you've ever met? Like a craziest United fan, someone who's gone all out, for United. Have you met someone like that?
I'm not sure, like, because it's always different. It's great to see what United means to different people. Like before, I'm not gonna lie, before I went out to other countries and saw, I used to think that football wasn't really taken very seriously abroad. And then
Yeah.
when you get to these places and you see it, you see that these guys are actually supporting as much as us, if not more than us. And like the commitment that people have to put into these games and watching them and
Yeah.
keeping up to date with it is incredible. So like, yeah, it's just nuts, man. It's nuts.
If you talk about how serious we are, you have to come to Delhi. We'll show you how serious we are. I mean,
Yeah,
we take it to a different level.
Yeah, so I was thinking of like, if obviously the tour doesn't happen, like coming to like screenings over there and filming content and stuff. So hopefully something we can do in the future. I went to watch a game with the Goan Supporters Club when we were there. So I'm hoping like once we get over there again, I can start arranging things like that to go and watch with different people and all that stuff.
Awesome.
There's been so many crazy United fans, but like obviously the obvious ones are Andy Tate, Ray Bobbins, that stick into your head. But
Yeah.
it's just doing it every single week. You always speak to someone new, or that just makes you appreciate that I get the opportunity to go to all these games. And my dad took me to games because I was kind of lucky.
All right. I think we caught it night. I think we had you for an hour, and I think I should respect that. Probably have you again in the future, and you know we
Involved. Always happy to get involved.
we just loved every bit of it.
Our videos as well, and obviously like if you're at a game or anyone's ever at a game, don't hesitate to come and chat to us and have a little beer or whatever's up your street. And hopefully we'll be over there soon.
Absolutely, man. Cheers, bro. Thank you so much for having us, and see you soon. Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Again.
Definitely, bro.
Stay safe and all the love from India, bro. Cheers.
Take care, man. See you soon.